The bridge of the Imperial Dreadnought Sovereign's will hummed with barely contained tension. Commander Elsa stood before the main view screen, her steel-gray eyes fixed on the shimmering barrier that marked the edge of Terran space. Behind her, the usual bustle of bridge operations had fallen to an uneasy silence. Scanners confirm it. "Commander," reported Lieutenant Leo from his tactical station, his fingers dancing across holographic displays. "That's not just a border marker. It's an active defensive grid. Power readings are astronomical." Elsa turned to face him, her expression unreadable. "Elaborate!" Leo's brown eyes widened as more data flooded his screens. "Ma'am, each node in that grid outputs more energy than our entire battle fleet combined, and there are thousands of them, stretching across the entire sector." The Galactic Empire had ruled unchallenged for 10,000 years. Across 1,000,000 worlds, countless species bowed before Imperial might. The Empire's fleets were unstoppable, their technology unmatched, their armies infinite. They had absorbed or crushed every civilization they encountered, until they reached Earth. Humanity had been discovered only 2 cycles ago, isolated in a remote arm of the galaxy. Initial reports described them as technologically primitive, barely having achieved faster-than-light travel. The Empire had sent the standard diplomatic envoy, expecting the usual response: submission, alliance, or conquest. The choice was always the same in the end, but the humans had simply said no. More troubling, they had established this border, and no Imperial ship that crossed it had ever returned. Not one. 6 scout vessels, 2 heavy cruisers, and even the battleship Eternal Dominion had vanished without a trace. No distress signals. No wreckage, just silence. "Open a channel to Terran Command," Elsa ordered. She had served the Empire for 30 years, rising through ranks that consumed weaker officers. She would not be intimidated by a species that had barely touched the stars. The view screen flickered and a human face appeared. The man wore a simple gray uniform with minimal insignia, his expression calm and almost friendly. Behind him, Elsa could see what appeared to be an ordinary military operations center. Nothing remarkable about it. "This is Captain Marcus Chen of Terran Command. How can we help you today, Commander Elsa?" The casual tone caught her off guard. Every species the Empire encountered showed either fear or false bravado. This human showed neither. "I am Commander Elsa of the Imperial Dreadnought Sovereign's will, commanding a fleet of 47 warships. We request immediate passage through this sector. Your border is impeding Imperial operations." "Request denied," Chen replied, his smile never wavering. "This is Terran sovereign space. We've made that clear." Leo leaned forward at his station, monitoring the exchange while keeping sensors trained on the barrier. Something about the human's confidence unnerved him. He had fought the Krellian horde, survived the siege of Andromeda 9, but this felt different. Elsa's jaw tightened. "You misunderstand. This is not a request. It is a courtesy notification. The Galactic Empire does not ask permission." "Then let me be clear, Commander." Chen's expression hardened slightly. "Terran Command forbids the Galactic Empire from crossing this border. Any attempt to do so will be met with immediate defensive action. You threaten us." Elsa's voice carried ice. "Do you comprehend what you face? The Empire has crushed civilizations 100 times your size. Your entire species is confined to one star system. We control millions." "We're aware of your military capabilities," Chen acknowledged. "We're also aware that you've lost every ship you've sent into our space. Have you wondered why?" Leo's console erupted with alerts. "Commander, energy signatures spiking across the entire border grid. Multiple weapon systems coming online." He stopped, his voice catching. "Ma'am, I'm reading over 10,000 targeting locks on us. On every ship in our fleet." "Impossible," Elsa breathed. "We're 40 million kilometers from the border." 40 million kilometers inside our engagement range, Chen corrected. "Commander, humanity spent 200 years preparing for the possibility of hostile first contact. We didn't explore the galaxy hoping to make friends. We explored it knowing that anything we met out here might want us dead." The view screen split, showing tactical data that made Leo's blood run cold. Every ship in their fleet was painted by multiple targeting systems. The power readings suggested weapons that could vaporize a dreadnought in seconds. "Your species fights with kinetic weapons, plasma projectors, and fusion warheads," Chen continued, "effective against most species. But humanity developed something different. We couldn't match your numbers, so we focused on absolute technological superiority in every engagement. Every system you see on your sensors represents a breakthrough in physics that took your empire 10,000 years to not achieve. Elsa stared at the data, her tactical mind racing through scenarios. Every simulation ended the same way. Total fleet annihilation in under 30 seconds. Why show us this? She asked quietly. You could have simply destroyed us. Because the Galactic Empire isn't our enemy, Chen replied, his tone softening. Empires, in our experience, can change. They can learn. They can evolve. We're willing to establish diplomatic relations, trade agreements, even mutual defense pacts. But it will be as equals, not as subjects. Leo watched his commander, saw the calculations running behind her eyes. The Empire had never retreated, never backed down. But the Empire had also never faced an adversary that held every tactical advantage. What are your terms? Elsa asked finally. Respect our borders. Send diplomats, not warships. Recognize Terran sovereignty. In return, we'll share some technology, open trade routes, and guarantee your ship's safe passage through our space when invited. Elsa considered her options, knowing that any other decision would mean the destruction of her fleet and potentially a war the Empire couldn't win. Pride was a luxury she could no longer afford. I will relay your terms to the Imperial Council, she said. We look forward to their response. Chen nodded. One last thing, Commander. Those ships you sent into our space. Their crews are alive and well. We'll return them as a gesture of good faith. The channel closed. Leo exhaled slowly. Orders, Commander? Elsa stared at the border, at the might of a young species that had turned warfare into an exact science. The Empire would have to learn a new word, one it had forced upon countless others but never spoken itself. Set course for Imperial space, she commanded, and prepare a full report for the Council. Everything changes now. As the fleet turned away, Leo couldn't help but feel he'd witnessed something historic. The Galactic Empire had finally met its match, not in another empire, but in a single species that refused to kneel. Humanity had drawn a line in the stars, and the galaxy would have to learn to respect it. The end